Good morning, everyone. The Delaware County Commissioner meeting for May 20th, 2021 is now in session. Since Commissioner Benton is rejoining us up front, I'm going to ask him to lead from the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Again, good morning, everyone. It is nice that we're getting back to some sense of normalcy, and let's hope things continue down this positive path that we're traveling. I'm Gary Merrill, County Commissioner President this year. To my left is Vice President Commissioner Lewis. To my right is fellow Commissioner Jeff Benton. Also today with us is our Administrator Mike Fromer and Assistant Administrator Don Houston, and our clerks, of course, Sarah and Jennifer. Sarah?
Resolution number 21-422, in the matter of approving the electronic record of proceedings from regular meeting held May 17, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion? Vote?
Vote on motion 21-422. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Bitton?
Aye.
Resolution number 21-423, in the matter of approving purchase orders, then and now certificates and payments and warrants in batch number CMA PR 0512 and procurement card payments in batch numbers PCA PR 0512.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion? Vote?
Vote on motion 21-423. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Bitton?
Aye.
Resolution number 21-424, setting date and time and place for the Delaware County Board of Commissioners public hearing to consider the approval and adoption of amendments to the subdivision regulations of Delaware County, Ohio, pursuant to the Ohio Revised Code Section 711.10, 711.132, and 711.133.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion? Vote?
Vote on motion 21-424. Mr. Bitton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 21-425, in the matter of recognizing the Emergency Medical Services Week in Delaware County.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, Mr. Fisher.
Morning, Commissioners. Jeff Fishel, Director of EMS, Delaware County. Behind me, we have Captain Tim Davis, who's working overtime today. And normally he's on the east side of the county out of our Sunbury station. And then we have crews from Medic 1 and Medic 3. So this week is Emergency Medical Services Week. It's great to have a week that we can set aside and recognize the people who respond to emergencies, whether they're traumatic or medical emergencies throughout the nation, throughout this county. It seemed like 2020 was the year where EMS really got the recognition of what we've always been doing in the background. We finally got the recognition of what it is that we do. We kind of led through the pandemic, and EMS took COVID-19 by the horns, and creating new response protocols and vaccine programs in home, out of home. And so while COVID was a very unfortunate and still is a very unfortunate pandemic, it did allow for EMS to showcase our potential. Not just in Delaware County, I'm talking about around the nation. So one thing I would like to do, though, is I would like for each of the paramedics that are here to introduce themselves, and I would like for you guys to tell them how long you've been with the county, because I always find it interesting for the amount of tenure that we have responding to your home when you call 911 in Delaware County. So if you guys wouldn't mind coming up.
Yeah, you need to come up to here to be heard.
Come up to the microphone. They're going to call in sick next time it's EMS.
Now, were they expecting this, or is this
Nope.
a surprise? Okay, we'll see how we'll see how they handle the emergency. How's that?
My name is Tim Davis, captain with Delaware County. Chief said I'm usually on the other side. Been with the county almost 25 years now.
25 years. Wow.
And that's not how long he's been in the EMS either. That's just how long he's been with us.
Are you implying he's old?
Yes. We call it seasoned.
Season.
Thank you.
Lieutenant Zach Wolf, Station 3 on 2 unit. Been with the county, it'll be 19 years in July.
Great.
Lieutenant Ryan Stroll, Station 1 here in Delaware. I've been at the county for 16 years.
Krista Garner, and I've been here for over 17 years.
And she's out of our Delaware station.
Medic 1.
Libby Wurst, Medic 3, 17 years also.
Wow.
Jeff Hanlon, been with the county for 16 years, I think, been EMS for 30, so.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, so I always find that interesting. In Delaware County, when you call 911, the crew that's shown up at your house is a lot of times going to have on average anywhere between 40 to 50 years experience combined walking in the door to address your emergency. So, you know, and obviously these people have dedicated a lifetime to service, and I think that should be honored and it's commendable. I think you guys have a
Proclamation?
Yep.
Yes, I'm going to read the proclamation that we will be voting on, and then we will vote, and then we'll get a photo, so everybody get your smiles on your faces, okay? Okay, and then we'll have any comments from the commissioners after I read it. Whereas emergency medical services is a vital public service, and whereas the members of Delaware County Emergency Medical Services are ready to provide life-saving care to those in need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and whereas access to quality emergency care dramatically improves the survival and recovery rate of those who experience sudden illness or injury, and whereas emergency medical services has grown to fill a gap by providing important out-of-hospital care, including preventative medicine, follow-up care, and access to telemedicine, and whereas the emergency medical services system consists of first responders, emergency medical technicians, paramedics, emergency medical dispatchers, firefighters, police officers, educators, administrators, pre-hospital nurses, emergency physicians, trained members of the public, and others out of hospital medical care providers. And whereas the members of emergency medical services teams engage in thousands of hours of specialized training and continuing education to enhance their life-saving skills, and whereas it is appropriate to recognize the value and the accomplishments of emergency medical service providers by designating Emergency Medical Services Week. Now therefore, be it resolved that the Delaware County Board of Commissioners, in recognition of this event, do hereby proclaim the week of May 16th to the 22nd, 2021, as Emergency Medical Services Week in Delaware County, with the theme, EMS Strong, Committed to Community, signed by Commissioner Jeff Benton, Commissioner Barb Lewis, Commissioner Gary Merrill. With that, I will open up to comments. Commissioner Lewis?
Well, just like to thank you so much. I mean, we don't see what you see, and you do it 24/7. And my gosh, we are so blessed, though, here in Delaware County to have excellent emergency medical services. I don't know any county that has better services than we do, but I just want to thank you for being on duty all the time and seeing the rough cases, and you persevere. Thank you.
Commissioner Benton?
Yeah, I would also like to thank you as well. Again, it's great to pause and spend some time recognizing a week where EMS is getting some recognition. I mean, what a year! You know, what a crazy year, and you guys adapted and got through it and led the way along with law enforcement. I mean, again, it was a tremendous reaction to a very difficult situation, and so thank you all for that, and for being the #1 EMS system in the state, as we've been formally recognized. So I want to thank you for everything, and keep up the good work.
I think we've made these kind of comments at previous meetings. So I think we're extremely fortunate to have the quality of people, and by quality, not only in your skills, but I think your quality as individuals. And I think you take your jobs very seriously. I think you recognize the role you play, and I think I hope the citizens in our county really appreciate the quality of service that they are fortunate to be receiving. And I thank you all very much. I think the proclamation says a lot and says it all. And it seems like somewhat symbolic as we come out of COVID, return to some sense of normalcy, that we're doing this week. It wasn't planned necessarily for that in mind, but it does seem a little appropriate. And again, thank you very, very much. And with that, I'm going to call for the vote, and then we'll get a photo. Vote.
Vote on motion 21-425. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye. Let's get that picture. Come on, guys. Please come back.
Thank you.
She looks so funny. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Resolution number 21-426, in the matter, resolution of necessity for the purchase of motor vehicles for the use of the Delaware County Emergency Medical Services Department.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion.
Morning, Commissioners. Jeff Fischel, Director of EMS, Delaware County. What you have in front of you is a resolution to purchase 2 new ambulances from Demir's Ambulance to replace 2 ambulances in our fleet. These ambulances will go to Medic 6 and Medic 7. It'll take the ambulances that are currently there and place them in a reserve status, and then it'll take 2 of our reserve trucks out of the fleet. The 2 trucks that it's going to be deleting out of the fleet are going to be a 2007 ambulance that has 124,000, almost 125,000 miles, and a 1999 ambulance that has 168,000 miles. These new ambulances are the same brand manufacturer that we bought last year, and with some feedback from the crews, we did some modifications. Has a lot of safety upgrades in it. Has a new power loading stretcher, which almost gets close to eliminating back injuries, and it'll help us to better serve our areas in Porter Kingston and Genoa. Specifically, Porter Kingston's truck has been undergoing significant maintenance recently and spends a lot of time out of service, so our cost on maintaining that truck just to stay in service has been quite high. So any questions about the ambulance purchase?
Questions?
Yeah, have you, or do you expect to have a long lead time? Because
Yes.
new automobiles and trucks now are long lead times, 60, 90 days.
We'll probably get these ambulances next EMS week. Is when they'll get delivered. So that's kind of what we've been told. The manufacturers have been telling us that they're ready to build the ambulance box, but the chassis are kind of just sitting on the lot waiting for the chips to be put into them. So it'll be a long lead time.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing is the chips or the delay.
Right.
Okay, good.
Other questions or comments? Vote.
Vote on motion 21-426. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Resolution number 21-427, in the matter of approving a transfer of appropriation for employee safety.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion.
Dawn Houston, Deputy Administrator.
Just a second. Could you guys stick around for the rest of the meeting? They'll be apparent to you, I think, in a little bit. Sure. Okay. Go ahead.
So I'm recommending your approval of this transfer of appropriation from our safety budget. This would move monies from the salary line item to the services and charges. We're planning to engage a safety consultant to come in to do assessments in several of our departments, as well as update policies and provide training for our employees. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Comments? Vote.
Vote on motion 21-427. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye. Thank you.
Resolution number
Thank you.
21-428, in the matter of approving a tower and ground lease agreement and memorandum of tower and lease agreement between the Delaware County Commissioners and Cello Partners.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. Patrick Brandt, 911 Director. What you have in front of you is an agreement between yourselves and Verizon. Verizon Wireless wants to co-locate on our tower in Radnor Township at the Fire Department and Medic Station number 4. This is a 10-year deal, but it does have 4 renewal clauses in there for 5 years apiece. So it would make a max if they went all the way 30 years. It does have an automatic increase in rental of 2% annually, and we recommend your approval.
For the purpose of the record, won't you tell us about what is the financial agreement?
The agreement is $1,850 per month is the rent, is the initial term for the initial year, and obviously 2% above that for each year sequential.
Any other questions or comments? Vote.
Vote on motion 21-428. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thanks,
That brings us to administrative reports. Mr. Fromer.
Good morning, Commissioners. Mike Fromer, County Administrator. Wanted to let you know today is the day we'll be receiving our first half of the American Rescue Funds. So we have the guidance and now the funds will be with the county auditor. So that has happened. I wanted to update you on that. Also, I wanted to, I had the pleasure to present with Commissioner Merrill at the Rotary on Monday, and it was great. We talked about the historic courthouse, and I had a wonderful 5-minute conversation with Judge Shaw about.
Yeah, he came specific. He's not a member of
Yeah.
Rotary. He came specifically because of the presentation.
And we spoke about how he tried to get the commissioners at the time to uncover that mural up there, but they would not do it. And he also was just talking about the history and the time here and stuff like that, and it just really helps you put in perspective the importance of this facility and what it means to a lot of folks. And I just wanted to share that. It was a very I know I learned a lot of things in talking to him that I'll be able to share with people and pass it on as I talk about this building and facility and what it means. So
He's passionate about this county. Judge
yes,
Shaw.
he is. I'll tell you, I didn't realize the impact that he's had. I think that it would be definitely worth exploring some opportunity to pay to his legacy that he had here in the court. So
We have an open house, I think, May 28th is the date for the open house.
yeah.
For employees. Yeah.
So,
But again, that's a step forward.
yep, definitely. That's all I have.
You're generally very thorough in your presentations, and I believe you have forgotten something. So would you like to share that with us?
No, Dawn and I talked about this earlier today. I told her that last year was the last year.
Then
that
I asked these people to stick around, so you've got to at least explain why they're here.
After last year, it stopped. It just staying in perpetuity. So.
It's his birthday. So happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
So,
Wow.
You knew we were going to get around to this.
Yeah, I had 2 options: either be on the golf course for my birthday or in session. And session just won out. It's like,
Yeah.
So, thank you for your service to county, and happy birthday.
Yes. Happy birthday. Oh, boy.
Okay. I believe that brings us to the Commissioner reports. Commissioner Benton.
One of the disadvantages of being back up here is you can steal my topics.
I didn't even look.
No. I always used to be able to.
I know.
Kind of far.
Just a few things. As Mike mentioned, the American Rescue Plan funding has come in, has arrived. I've participated in a couple conferences talking about how they are to be deployed. There's quarterly reporting involved. There's restrictions on how they can be used. But again, I think we'll be able to figure out ways to make positive use of those funds to advance economic development, help individuals and businesses that still need help, that have suffered through it. One important thing is the funds have to be committed by the end of 24 and have to be spent by the end of 26. So there's a long lead time if we're doing some of these infrastructure projects and everything that can be done. So anyway, we'll keep moving forward on that, obviously. Land Bank had our meeting yesterday, and moving forward on that, getting a lot organized. The sale of the old jail is definitely moving forward. Looks good to be done in the near future. Central Ohio Youth Center board meeting is this afternoon. Commissioner Merrill and I participated in the 23 center line study, and that's a study that ODOT has started to figure out how to fix 23, basically what it boils down to, from Waldo down to 270, and obviously most of that's in Delaware County. And it's going to be a long process and very expensive. There's going to be public hearings in the near future, and whether they concentrate on fixing 23, whether they concentrate on diverting traffic over to 71 or over to 33, going east or west. That's what's largely to be determined by this study, which is huge dynamics. Fix 23, go east, go west. I mean, it just has huge impacts. But clearly, the 23 corridor is extremely important to Delaware County for economic development, for quality of life. I mean, it's a corridor that has a lot of accidents, a lot of delays, congestion, so on. So it's good that ODOT is leading this because it really needs to happen. And so it'll be very important for economic development, for the local jurisdictions, et cetera. Chamber Third Thursday lunch is today. We're going to be talking about learning about the state budget, which is almost finalized. And how could I forget this? Golf's second major starts today. It's the PGA tournament, right, Marissa? Yep, we'll be watching. 1 o'clock on ESPN, so set your DVRs. It started already, but the TV coverage hasn't started. So. Anyway.
I'm a little disappointed. You're such a big golf fan. University of Oklahoma finished in the top 4 in their region, and they will move on to the next level, and you failed to mention that. And you're such a big golf fan, I found that unbelievable.
I'm proud of it. That's good. They can't compete in football, at least they can compete in golf.
We'll see about that. Okay, Commissioner Lewis, what do you have?
Oh, gosh. I am on a call today with I guess he's the vice president now of CCAO, John Lights, to discuss TCAP. And the Buckeye Institute would like to make it mandatory and thinks everybody should do it. So it's going to be an interesting call. I'm not a big fan of TCAP, so.
Well, it was intended to be permissive, and as a lot of things do, they get away from their intended. Mm-hmm. And then what we all read was there could be a question whether there be funding for those who come later. So hopefully we get a good result, and I'll look forward to your report.
Okay, thank you. That's it.
So I only have one thing to really add regarding the meeting that Commissioner Benton talked about. The discussion today really were people who had, let's say, interest in the project from Toledo down to Columbus. Yeah. So it was it's more than just Delaware County. And as the comment I made, you can't fix one problem. All you do is move the problem to another part of the county or another part of the state. It's got to be recognition. It's got to be fixed in its entirety. Otherwise, we're just kidding ourselves. But I do think the 23 corridor benefits our county getting it upgraded. Another north-south transportation corridor that we desperately need to go along with the east-west, and this somehow, in some degree, will tie into 71, because traffic 71 ends up on 36, 37. It comes through Delaware City, and it's a significant project. I'm glad ODOT has an interest in taking a hard look, and obviously, from the county's perspective, upgrading the corridor is, I think, the best for our county. So we'll see how it plays out. With that, I have really nothing else to add. I do think we have need for executive.
We have a need for
That's
other
right, we have one other
business.
piece of business.
Resolution number
Take care of
21-429, in the matter of acknowledging receipt of annexation petition from agent for the petitioner, Jennifer Gallagher, Director of Public Safety for the City of Columbus, requesting annexation of 0.384 acres of land in Orange Township to the City of Columbus.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, discussion, vote?
Vote on motion 21-429. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
And we do have one item for executive. Resolution number 21-430, in the matter of adjourning into executive session for consideration of appointment of a public employee or public official.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, discussion, vote?
Vote on motion 21-430. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Yeah, the third round of the draw.